Hello to everyone. I'm Cătălina CRIFTAN. I'm Associate Professor at Babeș-Bolyai University, the Faculty of Economics and Administration, Business Administration. And I would like to, today we are gonna speak about innovation and entrepreneurship, definitions and interdependencies. Actually, this is the first course of the discipline entitled Fundamentals in Entrepreneurship. We are gonna discuss the agenda before starting, and then we will start with the organizational details. And in order to set up the expectations, I will speak about the approach, the courses that are going to be available, the topics, and also we will speak a little bit about the evaluation method. Then we will start with a theoretical aspect. This is an introductory course, and through this course, you will find out about the meaning of entrepreneurship. We will speak about the advantages and disadvantages of being an entrepreneur. Also, we will discuss about some perspectives in entrepreneurship, taking into consideration two criteria. The first one is going to be the degree of innovation, and the second one would be the mission. Okay. Also, we will see the role of innovation in problem solving. Creativity and innovation actually are raw materials in entrepreneurship. So we will speak a little bit about this aspect as well. Then we will highlight some key takeaways, and at the end of this course, starting with 7:30, you will have available a quiz. But I will tell you all the details you need. Don't be afraid, and I will do my best to answer to all of your questions. Okay, good. So let's continue. So as you may know, this course, the first course, is available in 4 languages. Okay. Then starting with the next course, you will all the courses will be available to you in Romanian language. So you will have to use this group code on Microsoft Teams that you can see on the slide. Also, all the materials are going to be available on the course website. It's very easy to find it if you use Google search engine, www.danielceasuciu.ro, Fundamente de Antreprenoriat. You will find the webpage very, very easily. There you will have access to the slides of all courses, also the video recordings for those that weren't able to attend the course. And another thing that is quite important to be considered. Through this course, you will have access to academics and practitioners that will share their knowledge and valuable expertise in entrepreneurship. And I will encourage you to ask questions, to interact with them in order to find out more about the secrets of entrepreneurship. Also, on the webpage, you will have access to some references, useful references, books, links that will help you to enlarge your knowledge. As you may know, this course is an interdisciplinary course. So it's available to all the students from the Babeș-Bolyai University that want to, okay? So it's in order to have all the things in place, and in order to make, to have access actually to the support you need in case you have questions. In each faculty, you will have a tutor, okay? And the list of all the tutors is gonna be available. It is available on the course website. So you have there an email address, so you can ask questions, and I'm pretty sure that my colleagues, as soon as they can, they will reply to you, okay? Just to have a clear image, the webpage looks like that. And then you will have available all the materials you need for each course. Then, as I said, the slides, the video recordings, and the quiz. That is going to be available in all 4 languages. The topics that are going to be addressed during this course, during this discipline. So we are gonna pass through all them, just to highlight the main elements. Today we are gonna start with innovation and entrepreneurship definitions and interdependencies, and then we will. This course is available, as I already told you, in 4 languages. My colleague, lecturer Dr. Mircea Suciu, will deliver the course in Romanian language, then myself in English. Sándor Columban, lecturer Dr. Sándor Columban, will provide the course in Hungarian, and also lecturer Dr. Daniel Metz will provide the course in German. Then the second course, starting with the next week, you will have the possibility to learn more about the problem. Because what do I mean by that? Every entrepreneurial process starts when a problem is identified. So, of course, we have a plethora of problems. We have many, let's say, opportunities to start businesses, okay? But, of course, once we identify a problem, we have to come up with ideas, with solutions. And then Ioan Gheorghe Petrovai, Director of Innovation, Fresh Blood Health Tech, will help you to set the steps from turning a problem into idea. Then you will see what you have to know in order to create value for the customers. So I invite you to attend the course, of course, like the other courses as well. Then another course will be about market research. It's so very important to know your customers and what are their expectations. And Smaranda Ignat, an entrepreneur and a trainer and business consultant, will provide you the knowledge you need in order to know many things, or the things that you need to know about this aspect. Nowadays, digital transformation and innovative thinking is mandatory. And Alexandru Rojan, Head of Innovation and Digital Transformation at Transylvania IT Cluster, will provide you the sources of information you need in this area. Market research, knowing the customers, knowing the competition, knowing your suppliers is also very important. But for most, it's important to know which is your competition. And then you have to know your direct and indirect competitors in order to know how to develop products and services and to create and to have actually competitive advantage. As an entrepreneur, in order to be successful, you need to be able to develop a strong team. And knowing how to set roles within a team, how to set expectations, how to motivate them is definitely something very important. And lecturer Dr. Mircea Suciu will help you in this. Business plan, how to make a proper business plan to clarify your entrepreneurship idea is also essential. And Florin Pop, managing partner at Prima Invest Capital Management, will help you with this. Minimum viable product, especially if we are talking about digital products, is also an important topic. And Bogdan Mureșan, Vice President of Technology Conatics, will be your trainer. As an entrepreneur, you will have to convince people, and you will have to make others believe in your business idea. So you have to know how to make a pitch, how to convince people, how to summarize the key elements of your business in such a way to convince others to follow your dream. And Razvan Shuta, Senior Business Development Manager at Startup Wise, guys, will help you. Another thing that we have to take into consideration is the fact that as an entrepreneur, you have to operate on a market. And of course, there are actors, major actors, stakeholders, and that you have to take into consideration that they can provide you useful support, okay? And setting relationships with them might provide you an important source of competitive advantage. So knowing the entrepreneurship ecosystem in order to grow your business is also a topic that you have to consider. Flexibility is so very important, but not everybody and not everyone knows how to do it. So you have to know how to track the market needs, but at the same time, you have to know how to adapt your product, how to support your team in order to accept, to embrace change. So being agile is definitely something that we must learn. And Lector Dr. Simona Bondiez, Managing Partner at Colors in Project, will help you. And of course, as an entrepreneur, you have to use the capital. Most of the entrepreneurs rely on their own source financial resources. But of course, there are so many opportunities, funding opportunities, and Tiberiu Moisa, Deputy CEO Bank at Transylvania Bank, will provide you, will present you the programs available and solutions that you may consider in order to find the right funding opportunities. And the evaluation method. I told you that after the course, after each course, you will have available a quiz. And for 30 minutes, the quiz will be available to you, okay? You will have a QR code. Even after this course, I will give you the QR code, and you will be able to access the evaluation, the quiz. For each, at the end of each course, definitely you, as I already mentioned, you will have 5 questions, and you will be able to gather 70 points per semester. And the formula is available here. Just to be sure that everybody knows how to access the quiz, you have here, I have to mention the following aspect. In the corner, you can set the language, okay? And if you want to have the questionnaire in other language besides Romanian, then you can select that, okay? And another thing that please pay attention to the following aspect. Many colleagues of yours might not be very careful when they select the faculty. So please pay attention to that in order to have all the data, all your results in one place, okay? So don't forget to write clearly your name and choose the faculty. Let's begin with innovation and entrepreneurship and see what the concepts are. And I would like to start with this quote of Professor Peter Drucker. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Definitely, entrepreneurship gives you the opportunity to create your own future. Many entrepreneurs start businesses in areas because in certain areas because they have hobbies. They like or they want to, they're passionate about those industries, domains. And then once you start something or once you start a business in relying on your hobby or what you like the most, you will be very lucky because you will never have to work a day in your life. At the same time, once you are passionate about what you are doing, you will not feel that you invest too much time or too much effort. So let's set some definitions, okay? Some of the first definitions that are used in order to describe an entrepreneur is the following. So for the first time, the entrepreneur has been defined as an individual in charge of arranging and conducting exploratory military expedition, meaning that they were individuals that were trying to come up with new approaches. They had the courage to find new things. Okay. At the same time, a term that is very often associated with the term of the entrepreneur is innovation. So Joseph Schumpeter describes the entrepreneur as being the innovator who leads the creation-destruction process of capitalism, meaning that they are constantly trying to come up with new approaches, to combine the available resources in order to create something unique, in order to create more value. Okay, they are change agents. That are trying to ensure the continuity and the development of the economy. Also, considering the Romanian legislation, we have to consider the following definition. Please pay attention to this definition. Okay. According to the law 133, the entrepreneur is an authorized individual or a legal entity who, by themselves or through association with other authorized individuals or legal entities, incorporate a company in order to engage in commercial activities. The profit is they want to work together in order to obtain the profit. But the profit is obtained based on the goods and the services that they are delivering. And the market is not a perfect market. They have to operate under competitive conditions. Okay. Also, if we take a look to the successful entrepreneurs, we will see that they have quite a complex profile, and then they are optimistic because the entrepreneur journey is not an easy one. And they have to believe in their success. If they don't believe in their success, no one will believe in it. So they are optimistic. And then they have to be responsible for their actions. And they have a deep sense for personal responsibility for the outcome of the business or the startup that they are creating. At the same time, they are oriented towards future orientation. They always keep an eye on what they have to do. Of course, this doesn't mean that they don't have to measure they don't have to take into consideration the results of their actions, but they have to learn from those mistakes that they have done, and they constantly have to come up with new approaches and try to look ahead and be less concerned with what they did in the past. Okay. Another thing that we have to take into consideration: self-discipline, perseverance are two qualities extremely relevant. Self-discipline makes them to push themselves forward, okay, and stay motivated regardless how they are feeling physically or emotionally, because they are humans like us, and of course, not every day might be okay. They might feel upset, or they might not. They might not feel very well, but still they have to continue their struggle or their journey and do the best they can. So keep a continuing effort to achieve their target against all the difficulties that they are facing. So flexibility is also something that a quality that we have to consider. we always say that be flexible, but it's not something very easy. Of course, you have to pay attention to what's happening outside of your company and try to keep up with the changes and try to find the best ways to adapt your vision, your perspective regarding the way you see your product and so on. Also, you have to keep always an eye to the customer needs in order to see if your product or the service you provide is satisfying the customers. Then risk-taking, they are risk eliminators. They have to take risks, of course, calculated risks. Definitely this is something that not everybody wants to take. And that's why not everyone is an entrepreneur. High level of energy. This journey, as I already said, is not an easy one. You always have to find the energy to fight with the challenges that you are facing. And sometimes the drawbacks are quite many. Also, you have to be eager to learn. Constantly try to make use of the failures or the problems that you face in order to be better and better at what you are doing. Okay, and then another thing that we have to take into consideration is that we always, or the entrepreneur, have to measure or to evaluate the feedback. This doesn't mean that they have to measure everything through money, okay? But they have to see if a certain initiative that they made a change, or they have to pay attention to the impact or the result of their actions. Okay, so another thing that we have to discuss about is the fact that I would like to consider to highlight 4 main elements that give the possibility to an individual to have the needed data in order to be successful in entrepreneurship. So everything starts with the right mindset. Having what is a mindset? So it's the set of beliefs that shape the way the individual perceive actions, initiatives. Of course, these are influencing significantly the actions of the individual. So having a growth mindset, okay, considering the fact that you can you should try different things, okay, and be open to what's new, to experimentation. This will definitely drive the individual, drive you towards trying new things, getting out of the comfort zone, thinking outside the box. Okay, of course, this, in order to be successful, once you try new things, you cannot. So once you try new things, you cannot be successful from the beginning. Failure is a part of the process. Okay, so you have to the individuals have to realize the fact that there is a need for constant effort in order to reach great results. Another component that we definitely need to consider is knowledge. Knowing the industry, knowing very well the domain that we want to consider once we start a business is so very important. So be a good learner, never stop learning. Stay in contact with people that can teach you. Read books, use sources available. There are so many that can be used in order to develop your knowledge. Another component that we must consider, are the capabilities, okay? So, of course, the theory is one thing, the practice might be another thing. Very often this happens. But at the same time, you will never develop capabilities if you don't try, if you don't experiment. So developing your capabilities is mandatory, okay? And the fourth component is the community. So you might have very many all the data you need in order to develop a unique business concept. But in order to be successful, you will need others. You will need employees, you will need investors, you will need key stakeholders like angel investors, venture capital, that will provide you the support in order to grow your business. So, of course, try to develop a community. Find people that can join your journey. And this, of course, this requires time, effort, and trust. And you cannot make somebody trust you or your vision just like that. You have to prove that you can be trusted, okay? So there are many benefits that make people to start a business, okay? So you have the opportunity to create your own destiny. Of course, you can, once you are an entrepreneur, you have the independence and the opportunity to achieve what is really important to you, okay? You can make a difference. Many entrepreneurs have had the possibility to create a product or services that had a major impact on the environment, on the society. Also, you have the possibility to reach your full potential, meaning that you can, once you do what you enjoy the most, then you will be 100 committed to your idea, okay, and your business concept. Also, you can make impressive profits. This is something that drives many entrepreneurs towards entrepreneurship. And at the same time, you can contribute to the society and be recognized for your efforts. And what is also very important, once you rely on a hobby, when you start a business, then you can enjoy and have fun once you manage your business. And I would like to encourage you to interact a little bit with me. And I want to ask you, what do you think so in your particular case, what would make you to start a business? What kind of benefits what kind of benefits you see? Who wants to try? Anna, Adriana, Kostya, you want to tell me? What do you think? Who wants to? Tudor? Cristian?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
I will repeat, Joanna, and probably you will give me an answer, okay? I want to ask you, what would motivate you to start a business? What kind of benefits do you see in order to become an entrepreneur? In your particular case?
Well, I think in my particular case, I am not really, how to put it, I'm not a person who takes orders in general. I like to be independent, and this really ambitionated me to want to start my business as an entrepreneur in the future.
You want to be your own boss, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much for your answer. Thank you. If there is anyone else who wants to say something? Okay, if not, we will continue with the next slide. Of course, nothing is perfect in this life. So there are many minuses that we have to take into consideration as well. The uncertainty of income is one of them. Of course, many employees decided to give up to their previous job, and start a business. And once they have done it, they thought that the income was much less than they expected. Okay, so this is something that can happen. Long hours and hard work. Sometimes working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day might be the norm. The risk of losing the entire investment. This is another thing that we have to take into consideration. But also, before deciding to start a business, or before investing your money in a startup, think twice and try to analyze and see what are the negative aspects that can happen. What are the if you are truly prepared, if you can do to launch that business, if you can change something, if you can learn something, or you need some skills or competencies in order to start a business. And of course, if the business doesn't work accordingly, or you don't reach the expected result, do you have a plan B? Okay, so try to consider all these aspects before starting the business, and try to find a way to reduce as much as possible this risk. Lower quality of life, especially until the business gets established. Definitely high level of anxiety, stress. These are things that entrepreneurs have to face, mainly because at the beginning they can face very few entrepreneurs were successful since the beginning. Okay, so also discouragement and the complete responsibility. Once you are the owner, then you will have the complete responsibility for your actions, for everything. Okay. Then I will highlight a little bit the entrepreneurship process, and there are some. As I already mentioned, the starting point is the problem. If you find a real problem that the customer have, then you might have a reason for your startup. And then, of course, what you have to know is that the people are paying in order to get rid of a problem, yeah. But also they are paying money in order to have some for the products or the services that gives them satisfaction. Okay. Once you have identified a problem, you will come up with ideas. I'm pretty sure that everyone had the opportunity to come up with ideas once they have spotted or have identified a problem. But not everyone had the courage to become an entrepreneur. So here we have another element. We need another element, a triggering event, something that makes us to put our ideas into practice. For some, this triggering event or this trigger can be a course like this one, okay, that will raise some ideas, and then that will help you to realize the fact that you would like to consider a certain domain, a certain area, and also to create and then to create a startup. But a triggering event can be associated with divorce, or, for example, single mom that has kids and has to provide for them, might find entrepreneurship as a way to do that. Also, the implementation stage is the next one. So during this stage, the entrepreneur has to come up with ideas, solutions, has to combine to identify the key activities, the elements that will help them him or her to clarify the business concept. During the implementation stage, normally the entrepreneur has to create a business model, has to make customer discovery to see what the customer needs in order to customize the product or the services according to the market needs. Okay, and then the next step is the startup. Once you create a startup, this doesn't mean that the organization you created is going to be successful. Okay, so the startup actually is just a temporary organization that is designed to search for repeatable and scalable business models. So you have to prove that the startup will be successful. In the next, during the next 2 years, it's so very important. Actually, many startups fail. And in Romania, the percentage is huge, but even in other countries, okay? But the idea is that what you have to consider is that once you have a startup, the next stage is the growth stage. During the growth stage, the entrepreneur or the business has to enable the entrepreneur to reach a critical mass in order to give him or her the possibility to cover the cost and to have a profit, definitely. Okay. Next stage is the maturity stage, and maturity can be associated with maturity in life and people. During these stages, it's so very important for the entrepreneur to be aware of the to implement as much as possible change within the organization, and then but at the same time they have the entrepreneur has to come up with solutions in order to increase sales through product development, but also by developing the range of products provided, but also through market development by finding new markets in order to sell their product. And the next step is the harvest. During the harvest, we have to consider the harvest is associated, can be associated with the merger, can be associated with the ownership. So the ownership could be transferred to employees via employee stock ownership plan, for example. But it can be also associated with a bankruptcy. Okay. So, as I already mentioned, another thing that we will discuss about is the perspective. We will speak about some perspectives in entrepreneurship, taking into consideration the degree of innovation. According to Bill Owlett, professor of MIT, he divides, actually he identifies two types of organizations that promote entrepreneurship. Small and medium-sized enterprises are those enterprises that satisfy the needs that are on the local and regional market. Normally, the revenue and the cash flow grow up to a certain point, and afterwards, the revenue and cash flow will be capped, okay, and also the number of jobs, okay, and will be quite linear, okay. What does it mean is that in most of so these kind of organizations do not rely necessarily on disruptive innovation, on radical innovation, but they are providing value for the customers. And we include here restaurants, dry cleaners, service companies, okay? Because the initial investment is not so big, then most of the organizations are used as a form of ownership, sole proprietorship, or family businesses. Once we are speaking about innovation-driven enterprise, as the name says, innovation, okay, then innovation is a core element, okay, meaning that this kind of organization rely on innovative approaches, radical innovation. They come up with a new process, with a new business model, or with a new product that changes significantly not only the market, but also this kind of innovation will rise the potential to approach a global market. Okay. Of course, in order to create something highly innovative, you need more capital and a more diverse ownership. At the beginning, the revenue and cash flow is negative, of course, but once the products are sold on the market, then the revenue, cash flow, and jobs created will grow exponentially. Okay, so the essence of an innovation-driven enterprise is the synergy between technology essentials, because you need knowledge, you need something very innovative. Okay, engineers or scientists can come up with something innovative. Okay, very, very highly innovative through research, for example. Okay. But everybody can come up with innovative ideas. Okay, but once we are referring to technology essentials, we have to have in mind innovative products. Okay, but of course, it's not enough. We need to combine technology essentials with business essentials, meaning that we need to know how to knowledge. We need knowledge in order to set decisions, in order to to sell our products, in order to raise awareness regarding the quality of the product and the need that our product will satisfy. Okay. Of course, in order to set this synergy between technology essentials and business essentials is not an easy task. Combining people with complementary skills, analytical skills, technical expertise, and making them to work together might raise several challenges. So there is a need for management and leadership expertise. Once we refer to innovation-driven enterprises, we need to consider some of the following roles: financial controller, marketing specialist, a technician or IT specialist, and the leader that is able to manage all of them. Okay, and I will highlight a little bit the stages that we have to take into consideration in order to once we refer to innovation-driven enterprises and the entrepreneurial process. Okay, so as I already mentioned, innovation is a core, and then we need research and development. In order to create something unique, we need documentation. We need to make sometimes research in a laboratory. Of course, we have to validate this, and then we have to see how our concept will be operationalized in a real environment. Of course, then the customers might see, okay, or the users might see it's very difficult to use a certain product. Okay, so there is a need for research once we operationalize in a real environment. Validation is the next step that we have to take into consideration, and we have to rely on experts, testers, in order to ask for feedback. In order to be agile, we have to know what can be improved in a real time. Of course, once we have this feedback coming from the testers, we have to have a system to manage all these inputs, okay, in order to use it and in order to integrate them into the process, development process. And create an open validation channel, because this doesn't stop. This is gonna be a continuous process. Then we need market research. Many scientists are able to create innovative concepts, but they are not aware what is happening on the market. And then once they see very often, so what is important to be mentioned here as well is that every entrepreneur has to take into consideration the market trends. And they have to consider the macroeconomic aspects. And here I'm referring to political, economical, social, technological, ethical, and legal factors, okay, that can raise challenges, but at the same time can raise several opportunities. At the same time, there is a need for to evaluate and analyze the industry. And I'm referring here to not only to competitors, but also to suppliers, okay, to clients, in order to set the market strategies, market approach. And the next component are prototyping and intellectual property. Once you create something unique, you have to have the ownership over your idea. Okay, so you create a prototype, you test it, and then you see if it's working on the market. But definitely you have to have a control over it. And then intellectual property will give you the protection you need. Of course, another thing that once we refer to intellectual property, we definitely have to search for similar patents once we create something new, okay? We have to search for similar patents because we might see that others have come previously with a similar idea, okay? Also, available patents might be a very valuable source of inspiration, okay? Definitely you will need an IP, portfolio development, and also control over the portfolio. Then the next step, business model. The entrepreneur, once you have a product, this doesn't mean that you will have a business model, that you have a business model. The business model means that you have to know how to promote your product, what are the key activities, what are the key partners, what is the value that you are proposing. So all these components have to be very well linked, okay? So Canvas model is a tool that will provide you a clear image regarding the main components of your business, okay? Then process operationalization will help you to understand exactly what are the steps that you have to take into consideration in order to deliver the value to the customer. Even if you have a high quality product, if you don't deliver properly the product to your customer, for example, then he or she will not be satisfied with the product you deliver. Okay, and then you also have to take into consideration to constantly update the business model, considering the changes that might appear in the customer needs on the market. Next step, scaling up. So you have to create a product line to develop your product, your portfolio development, and also to expand to find markets in order to sell your products. And strategic management, once the business grows, there are some components that definitely you have to be aware of. As I already mentioned, a multidisciplinary team will help you to have the inputs you need in order to come up with innovative approaches. Of course, you have to have good leadership in order to manage all that. Also, knowledge management, knowing how to manage knowledge, how to encourage people to create knowledge for the organization, how to facilitate knowledge transfer among your employees and also in relationship with the external environment is mandatory. Setting strategic partnership and developing social capital connections with key stakeholders is also something that you have to have in mind. Another perspective that I would like to highlight here is a perspective that according to which entrepreneurship can be divided into categories in social entrepreneurship, especially when we are talking about those organizations that, so once we refer to social entrepreneurship, the main mission of the organization is to create social and environmental and cultural value, okay? So social and environmental mission is the one that defines the success. While once we refer to commercial entrepreneurship, the profit size is the highlights the success, okay? And of course, the beneficiaries are the owners, the investors. What we have to take into consideration is that nowadays, social entrepreneurship is growing significantly. And then based on, we can see here the fact that is contributing to the creation of over 30.6 million of jobs, then represents over 8% of EU GDP. And also we have quite a number of social enterprises in European Union. What is social entrepreneurship? So the primary mission of this organizations is to create social, cultural, and environmental value. Everything, so of course, this cannot be made up. So innovation is a core component, okay? So, but all this, so innovation has to serve a strong social mission. And the target will be not only the environment, but also the vulnerable groups, okay, that face integrating difficulties considering the available social systems. But of course, profit is important. If we, but what we have to consider here is the fact that the profit is only the instrument, the tool that helps the social entrepreneurs to create social value. So there are some facilitators that we must take into consideration once we refer to social entrepreneurship. First of all, we spoke about the mindset, the set of beliefs that influence the way we act as individuals. And then sustainability mindset, once we have a strong sense for or strong respect for social justice, and once we show concern for the way the resources are used, definitely the actions are gonna be influenced by this kind of beliefs, okay? Inclusive community. An inclusive community supports social entrepreneurship. Everybody can create value. Of course, it can be quite challenging to integrate vulnerable groups and to see the potential of vulnerable groups once we have to work with them, because they have, very often they have special needs and we have to have different approach towards them. But still, an inclusive community values all the members and helps them to meet their needs. Social change is a part of the process, meaning that in order to, social entrepreneurship actually helps the vulnerable groups to find the tools in order to improve their status, okay? And through social entrepreneurship, actually, they can have access to the steady source of income and they can become autonomous, okay? And social innovation is a part of the process, meaning that we need to create, so once we refer to social innovation, we have to have in mind ideas, behaviors, solutions that create value to the users, but and also are delivering a long-lasting social impact. Just to have an idea between, just to have a clear overview regarding the differences between social entrepreneurship and corporate social responsibility, or not-for-profit organizations and enterprises. Normally, the enterprises and the companies, they look for profits, high profits, or shareholders' accountability. And of course, if they are profitable, then everybody, or at least the shareholders, are going to be very happy. But there are ways to be involved and to support social impact. Not everybody has to be a non-profit, okay? But there are organizations that consider consider social impact a core element of their strategy. And these are social responsible business, and you should have to consider. Just to give you an example, would be those companies that create products that support significantly, so that reduces the impact over on the environment, that reduce pollution and so on. Okay, but of course there are corporate companies that don't necessarily invest too much in social mission, and they do they invest, they support social cause because the owner wants, or because the customers want. And in this category, we include corporations practicing social responsibility, or traditional for-profit. Another thing that we should consider here is the fact that non-profit organizations are those organizations. In Romania, we have three types of organizations, but I will refer to social enterprises. These are hybrid organizations that are able to create a self-sustainable mechanism based on economic principles. They create and produce goods that are sold on the market, and the surplus is used in order to create social impact. In Romania, we have a legislation, the Law 219, and it was issued in 2050. But the idea is that what has been seen is the fact that before 2050 and even after, the number of organizations that use this law was quite reduced. What was the reason behind? The problem is that the Romanian ecosystem, or the organization, so these organizations that support social entrepreneurship don't have too many sources to finance, other sources to rely on in order to finance their activity. And that's the reason why many organizations decide to create spin-offs. Okay, the non-profit organizations, we have seen a tendency where non-profit organizations actually create limited liability companies, societăți cu răspundere limitată, in order to, and through them, they create actually enterprises, they produce goods, services that are sold on the market, and the surplus is donated to the non-profit that created them. This is a way to finance their activities. Also, non-profit organizations create spin-offs also to ensure a faster growth of a new organization, because sometimes there are employees that come up with innovative ideas, and those ideas might grow much faster if as a standalone organization. Okay, so we will continue by highlighting the fact that definitely social entrepreneurs are people that have something special and put others before them. This doesn't mean that they have to work for free, okay? But and I have here some examples, some that you should consider in case you have interest in the area. ADV is a foundation that has contributed significantly to the development of many social enterprises in Romania. They have their own social enterprises. At the same time, they created an academia, ADV it's called, that provides the support to social entrepreneurs that want to start a business. Also, there is an accelerator created by them that helps social enterprises to grow. And there are other examples. Camelia Gui from Food Waste, she was a student of the Faculty of Economics. Now she militates she is together with other colleagues of hers, she's fighting against food waste. Other examples, Tika Daria, an entrepreneur that studied abroad in Copenhagen, and then he came back to Romania and he created a social enterprise in Roșia Montană. And now, if you want to take a look at his webpage, you will see that he is quite successful. And of course, you can search more data about these entrepreneurs that you see on this slide, because you will have access to the slides after the course. Okay, another component of this course will be about innovation and how to the contribution to problem solving. Of course, once we start a business as an entrepreneur, we rely on our own assumptions. But of course, we have to validate those assumptions, and we have to get out of the building. We have to discuss with customers. There are two ways of doing it. So the first approach is the market pull, meaning that you go on and discuss. You search for you search a problem in order to solve it. Okay, so you talk with customers, with stakeholders like, I don't know, suppliers, competitors. They might provide you useful information, especially because they know the domain. And technology push. Normally, this approach is very often used by engineers, scientists. They create an invention, and then they are trying to find a market. Okay, so this approach enables the entrepreneur to find a market opportunity. Just to have a clear image regarding the differences between creativity and innovation, everybody can be creative. So creativity is the ability to develop ideas and to discover new ways of analyzing and perceiving opportunities. Okay. Another thing that we have to take into consideration is that creative people might create inventions. Okay, what is an invention? It's a method, process, a device. Okay, and in order to have ownership on that invention, you have to have a patent. So what is a patent? Is the right to make use and sell that specific invention. The innovation comes once you are able to have an invention, something new, but you are able to implement it, to commercialize it. Okay, so many inventions were not, so many inventions did not, were not used in order to bring value to the creator. Okay, so commercialization and knowing how to sell your patent, your invention is essential, and this will bring you innovation. Innovation happens in unexpected contexts. You might find solutions, ideas, resources that can be combined in a different way to provide more value. Also, if you plan to create something, sometimes the unconformities might provide you solutions for other problems that you didn't think initially. Also, industry, market structure, the changes in the market might raise several sources of innovation. The demographic changes, okay, is also a source of innovation. Change in perception, the way COVID changed us, influenced significantly the way we use products, the way we satisfy our needs. So this is definitely a source of knowledge. A new knowledge invention. Once we create something completely new, then this is also associated with innovation. Okay. What has to be highlighted is that in order to create a business opportunity, you always have to see what are the customers, the problems that customers face, and what are the solutions available to them, in order to see what can be improved. Okay. So how we can promote creativity in order to reach innovation? Encourage diversity. Also learn from any experience. Failure is a part of the process. Learn from it and try to avoid it next time, okay? Based on what you've learned. Capitalize on hobbies you have. Make use of the hobbies, because once you start a business in an area that you like, then you will be very, very lucky, as I already mentioned. Encourage creative thinking. Think outside the box, come up with solutions, with ideas. Of course, not always. Once you try new things, then you don't know what's gonna be the results. But this is a learning process that will help you to understand and to what can be done better in the future. Also accept failure. Failure is part of the process, and perceive problems as learning opportunities. If you are an entrepreneur, encourage your team to come up with ideas and develop procedures to capture those ideas, those recommendations, and try to make use of it, of course. And become a member of a learning community of practice. A community of practice is a group of people that have a common interest in a certain area. And once you are in contact with such persons, then you will be able to learn more, to find new things much more easier. Also discuss with customers, business partners, also suppliers, that they might highlight needs or problems that you can start from in order to start the business. And study the available patents. These are an important source of creativity. And also this will help you to realize the potential of the field you are operating on. And then we have here some books. I will kindly recommend you to read Build Better Brains. It's quite a good book, talking to humans as well. And at the same time, Small Business Management, Entrepreneurship and Beyond, an essential of entrepreneurship and small business management. And key takeaways. Entrepreneurship is a team sport, not an individual one. Yeah. You have to work with others. But of course, this requires common vision, shared values, and complementary skills. Be passionate about what you are doing, okay? And your job is going to be much, much more easy. Then what I also encourage you to experiment, okay? Because you will become better and better once you try new things, okay? So you can learn to be a successful entrepreneur. Another thing that I try to highlight through this course is the fact that there are different meanings of entrepreneurship, okay? And from economical and cultural standpoint, of view has many definitions. Yeah, but it's very important to see what motivates you, what is the meaning in your what is your meaning of entrepreneurship actually. Okay, and in a few minutes the quiz is gonna be open. Okay, you have here so don't forget to choose the language. Okay, and then here is the QR code that you can use in order to have access to the questionnaire. Then I will say, I will wish you good luck in all your initiatives, and see you. Bye.